with us. My personal Twitter feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN. You can watch the show on Twitch and on Facebook at 97.7 ESPN. Our YouTube channel is 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Go there, like that, subscribe, and get the notifications. That's all the places where you can find WZZN TV, everywhere. Now, also on that Facebook page, there's all kinds of other good information, show clips, and things like that as well. Excuse me. Man, that cough is back, Whereas that cough is back. Now, look, all you got to do is go to 977ESPN.com and get links to all of that. And while you're at it, get our app, all right? Because with the app, you get links to Zone 2 and Zone 3 and Zone 4, our alternate streaming channels for more great programming. Not that we have a lot of that tonight, because the Braves, they did play 2 games like in a row after being off in the middle of a homestand. They were off on Tuesday. They were off on today. In the middle of a homestand. It's the dumbest scheduling. At least they did get the split with the Boston Red Sox yesterday. Coming up either in the next segment, we're not sure. It's either going to be in the next segment or later on in the second hour. Red-hot handicapper Steve Merrill will join us from Pro Sports Info. He is now 15-6 in his last 21 selections. He gave us the under 7 runs in the Angels-Rays game last night. Now, that game ended up being 4-2 in extra innings after being tied at 2. It was like 1-0 in the 7th inning. I'm like, oh, this is the easiest under ever. The next thing you know, it's 2-2 going to extra innings. Like, this should be okay, right? Should be all right. It'd be a 3-2 game one way or the other, right? Somebody's going to win 3-2. 4-2. Anyway, we hit the under on that. That was pretty good stuff. That would have been a bad beat. If that game would have went to extras at 2-2 and then gone over, that would have been a bad beat. Now, he was also on the Warriors last night. We needed 40 to hit that one. We needed the Warriors plus 40. It was Steve Merrill's first miss on the NBA this week. And what in God's name was that? I mean, here's the Grizzlies with no Ja Morant, dead in the water, down 3-1 in the series. And at one time last night, they led that game by 55 points on the way to a 39-point win. At the end of the third quarter, if you took away the 17 three-pointers that the Grizz had made to that point, what is that? 17, 3, carry to 1, 21, 51. 51 points worth of three-pointers. Listen to this now. If you took away the 17 three-pointers that the Grizzlies had made up until that point, they still would have been leading that game 68-67. I mean, think about that. Think about it. They outscored the Warriors by 25 points in the third quarter alone with a big lead at half. And now, including the playoffs, Memphis is 21-6 in games without Ja Morant. A 778 winning percentage for a team that had a 683 winning percentage during the regular season. In games without Ja Morant, 778. What are we supposed to do with that? What do you do with that? What do we do with this? No idea. It was a beatdown of epic proportions. Now, coming up at the top of the 11, whether Steve Merrill is after him or before him, Trash Panda's manager, Andy Schatzley, will join us to talk some ball. I wonder what impact does it have on a double-A team when one of your teammates goes up and pitches a no-hitter? I mean, do the Trash Pandas have a Crash Davis on the team? I mean, you know what I mean? If Reed Detmers is like Nuke LaRouche, Do they have a Crash Davis that explains to him what the show is like? And you been to the show? Yeah. Or what is it like when a guy like outfielder Aaron Whitefield goes up? I mean, last week he's playing for the Trash Pandas, and now he's in the majors. By the way, Aaron started for the Angels last night. He went 0 for 4, and LA's lost to Tampa Bay. He's now 0 for 6 with a walk. No, he doesn't have a walk. With a couple of Ks, I know that. He's still looking for that first big league hit. Hope he gets it before he gets sent back down. Hope he gets that. College football news. The NCAA has recommended loosening the rules on how conferences determine participants in their football championship games. Remember, the NCAA was the one that said that to have a conference championship game, you had to have divisions. Originally, that was their original thing. You had to have 2 divisions to have a conference championship game. That was their. Now they're saying, whatever. Meaning, as I have been pining for years. And stop me if I'm lying. Anybody that listens to this radio show for more than 20 minutes. Because I have been pining for this for years. The end of divisions is coming soon. Done. Certainly, by the time Oklahoma and Texas get to the SEC, the East and West model will be done. There'll be no more debate over which division is stronger or where the ceiling is for teams in a division. Can Kentucky get through the Florida, Georgia, Tennessee juggernaut? Can they finally win the division? There'll be none of that. There'll be none of that conversation. That conversation's all gone. Can the Mississippi schools jump up into the traditional powers of the West? The conversation is over. Over. And it's happening sooner than you think. There will be no divisions. Now, I am not a huge fan of the 4-team pod system. I don't know why they call it pods. Why not just 4 divisions? But I get it as a basis for scheduling. But I do believe, however you get to it, whether you need, I don't know if you need a pod or call it a pod or not, or whether you have 4 divisions, I firmly believe now that each team will have 3 locked-in games and 6 rotating games. And, yes, there will be some casualties, no doubt about it. But in the end, everyone in the league will play everyone else more frequently. Now, who will be the locks for each team? That'll be debated hotly. I mean, for Alabama, let's take Alabama, for example. Because remember, once you start putting these teams on these lock schedules, well, then the other teams are now, that's one of the games in their lock schedule. So if we start alphabetically with Alabama, well, obviously Auburn. I think, obviously, Tennessee. And then maybe LSU? Auburn would have Alabama, Georgia, maybe Florida. I could see Texas with the Aggies, Oklahoma, and LSU. And so now LSU would have Alabama, Texas, and maybe Arkansas. So as you can see, the deeper this goes, the more difficult it becomes. We've already given Georgia, Auburn. They got to play Florida. So who's their third? Tennessee? So now Tennessee has Alabama and Georgia. Enjoy that, Vols. And then maybe Vandy for comic relief. You see how this builds, right? How about Oklahoma? Oklahoma, obviously Texas, then Texas A&M, and then Missouri, right? I mean, you got to have like a Big 12 feel there. I mean, look, we can get there. We can look at some of the proposed variations, but be certain of this. Divisions are dead unless these pods become divisions. Now, here's my next great idea. Pay attention. Here's my next thing that I am recommending that I would be a huge fan of. Go ahead. Go to 4 4-team divisions like in the NFL. Go to 4 4-team divisions. I would be a huge fan of the SEC then having its own playoff. Eliminate one cupcake game. Follow me. Eliminate one cupcake game. And have a 4-team playoff with Week 12 being the semifinal to get into the SEC championship game. And the division winner with the best record plays the division winner with the worst record, and the two middle ones play. You see them 1, 2, 3, 4. One plays 4, 2 plays 3. The other 12 teams that didn't make the SEC playoffs square off for their Week 12 game. That's their Week 12 game. While the teams that are going to the SEC playoff play their Week 12 game as a SEC semifinal game. And we get rid of one cupcake game. We determine who's making the SEC playoffs based on 11 regular season games. Well, really 9 SEC games. Really, it doesn't matter what happened in your non-conference game. You have 9 SEC games. You have 2 non-conference games. One's a cupcake. One is a game against a Division I team. Boom, there's your schedule. I like that idea. Then you have new ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips at the ACC spring meetings, questioning whether or not football even needs the NCAA. Oh, be still my heart. Look, the NCAA as a governing body basically runs championships. In football, they run the FCS championship, the 1AA championship. So let them grow that division by about 60 teams and have at it. We'll watch. You add 60 teams that are, former 1A teams, former FBS teams. We'll watch that. Let the NCAA run that. The other 70 or so Division I teams need to completely separate themselves. It can, and I think it will, be done someday. It will. It's going to happen. It'll happen in my lifetime. It's going to happen. Oh, there's some heavy stuff right there. Boy, I just throw some heavy stuff on that on a May 12th. A Thursday, a May 12th, I threw some heavy stuff on the table. Over there in a little glass room, playing a Play Doesn't Matter and the stacks of wax and answering the phones, keeping us on the air. His head might be exploding a little bit over some of this crap I'm talking about. It's DJ Grizzy Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm gonna jack up on Mountain Dew. Now, Tom. Hey, Tom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
Grizzolicious, how you doing today?
Gift. When you were a baby, the gods reached down and turned your right arm into a thunderbolt. You got a Hall of Fame arm, but you're pissing it away.
I ain't pissing nothing away. I got a Porsche already. I got a 911 with a quadraphonic Blaupause.
Christ, you don't need a quadraphonic blah punk. What you need is a curveball. Huh? In the show, everybody can hit a fastball.
Well, how would you know?
I've been to the show.
Been to the show,
I've
baby.
been to the show, baby.
I've been to the
there.
show. You've been
21
to the show?
days. 21 days, baby. I've
21
been
glorious days. They carry your luggage. 21 glorious
Gotta
days.
love it. Gotta love it.
Great scene. It's good job. That's good production. by you.
That was good. Yeah, no, it's been a good morning. Filling in for Drew. All of our he's doing well. He's speeding along, and good to hear from him. And but it's good to be here as always.
So, if you were filling in for Drew, did you have some deep,
I tried to
recruiting night type news?
No,
and
I
things
tried
like
to
that?
calm down my morons. I did bang on the table a little bit, try to keep
You
up
bang on the table.
try to keep it up. I did do the, I tried to get the real squeaky voice going. Come on. Like I tried to get it as much as I could, but I just couldn't do it as good as Drew.
Did you update everybody on Arch Manning and the fact that
No.
he loves Georgia now?
No,
basically?
I didn't. No, because that would have. No.
Did you hear what Arch Manning said about
What did he
Athens?
say?
He said Athens. I mean, read between the lines of this a little bit if you want. He said that Athens is probably the best college town I've ever been to. I love Coach Smart. He's a real normal guy, a great coach. Georgia, the takeaway from practice there is that they have athletes all over the field, especially on the defensive line. They have some studs, and it shows. They had 15 players drafted, close quote. Wow. That's a lot of Georgia love right there from old Arch Manning.
Yeah.
Maybe. Do you think? I wonder if
Written
the
by
Mannings,
EJ Wire.
I wonder. That Peyton Manning has great respect and everything for Nick Saban, and I get all of that. But I wonder if the Mannings hate Alabama because of the Tennessee thing and the Mississippi thing. It might be like he throws up in his mouth a little bit when he thinks about Alabama. Maybe Arch Manning doesn't want any part of Alabama. Yeah, Alabama doesn't have athletes all over the place. Alabama doesn't. It sounds awfully. It sounds like he's locking in a little bit on the Bulldogs.
Yeah, name the last. I mean, what's the last Georgia quarterback to go in the first round?
The last Georgia quarterback to go in the first round would be Justin Fields.
Exactly. Kirby Smart's not getting those quarterbacks up there, and whether you want to bash Alabama and Nick Saban for the quarterbacks that he's gotten, but the last few have been doing pretty well. They're all first round draft picks, and we're looking at possibly when we're looking at some of the other quarterbacks that have come and gone. I mean, some of them are at least career guys, and the way that Alabama's produced every single year, what is this, 14 years straight, and tied Miami. You would think that the kid would be thinking over, just 1 year thing, rather than,
Well, it doesn't matter where he goes.
Oh, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
He's going to be a draft pick. He's going to be a high draft.
Of course.
Unless he totally Blake Barnett's it. You know what I mean? Unless it turns out that he just absolutely turns out the sock. You know what I mean? And becomes one of those guys.
It's all hype.
He's going to be, who was Clausen? The kid that went to he was supposed to win like a couple of Heismans or something like that over at Tennessee,
yeah.
or Jared Stidham, who ended up being a fourth round draft pick.
Supposed to be
something
better
like
when
that.
he went to Auburn. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and now on the Raiders,
he was supposed to win. Oh, did he get the Raiders?
Yeah, he gets sent to the Raiders.
He was supposed. When did that happen?
I think earlier today.
He's supposed to be Jared Stidham. Remember his advisor said that he went to Auburn to win championships and a Heisman Trophy. He was going to win a championship and a Heisman Trophy and be a fourth-round draft pick. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Wasn't he all SEC, though? He was all SEC.
He was the – yeah. I mean, he had 1 year like that. He was pretty strong.
Yeah.
All right, I tell you what, we got a lot to get to. I really did – I put a lot out there here with this. Divisions are done. We're going to get into that. We may or may not have Steve Merrill next. If not, we're opening up the phone lines, 256-576-4977. Who would you like to see in your favorite SEC teams, 3-team lock schedule or pod, if you will? Because there's been a lot of talk about Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt. Well, then you're going to lose Auburn and Georgia? You can't do that. I don't think you can do that. But if you're going with divisions, then it's that. But if you're going with just 3 locks, that you play every year, then you don't have to do the division thing. All right, we'll get a break. We'll come back and do something next right here on the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
The 2022 AT&T Byron Nelson from McKinney, Texas today through Sunday. Scotty Scheffler a plus 1,000 favorite ahead of Justin Thomas at plus 1,200 and Xander Schauffele at plus 1,800. NBA Game 6s tonight in the semifinals. The Heat up 3-2 on the Sixers and a 2.5-point underdog in Philadelphia, 207 the set total. In the West, the Suns lead the Mavericks 3-2. Phoenix a 2-point favorite in Game 6 in Dallas, 212.5 the total. Baseball, the Braves off tonight. Atlanta opening a home weekend series against the Padres on Friday. Max Fried set to get the start in Game 1 against Yu Darvish of San Diego.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The Trash Pandas are back for 6 games at Toyota Field starting Tuesday, May 24th against the Tennessee Smokies. The week's promotions include an Izzy Wilson bobblehead giveaway on Tuesday, Armed Forces Night on Thursday, and a Trash Pandas camo cap giveaway on Sunday. Get your tickets for all the fun now at TrashPandasBaseball.com.
Let's rock it.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Tuesday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon, and isolated showers going to be possible at the end of the day. Most of us probably going to end up staying dry, so I don't want you to think about that too much. Highs climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're going to get really, really close to 90 degrees. Looks like we're going to fall just shy. Lows only dropping into the upper 50s and lower 60s through the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Friday. A slightly better opportunity for a little bit of rain come the later part of the afternoon, early into the evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
So who is Wes Neighbors?
He's going to put an ass whooping meter on next year.
Does Wes know?
1 or 2 or 3 cans whoop ass.
We can all figure it out. Weekday afternoons, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Who
Who is the tall, dark stranger there? Maverick is the name. Riding the trail to who knows where. Luck is his companion. Gambling is his game. Smooth as a handle on a gun. Maverick is the name. Wild as the wind in Oregon. Blowing up a canyon. Easier to tame. Riverboat ring.
Wasn't that the name of it, Maverick?
Yeah.
That was the name of the show. When was that show? It sounds like it was in the 60s or something. That can't be 70s. That had to be 50s and 60s or something.
Oh, yeah. 57. 57 original release.
57 or 67?
57.
I wasn't around in 57. All right, welcome back on a Throwback Thursday. This segment of the show is brought to you by TOC Sports. For all your injury needs, it's TOC Sports, no matter how you got injured. Could have been at work. Could have been raking leaves. Wait a minute, we don't rake leaves right now. It could be you got hurt doing what I'm doing this Sunday or this weekend, which is removing a bunch of bony-ass, gravelly stone from our parking area and replacing it with Crusher Run. Got the backhoe come in. Still trying to decide whether I'm going to rip those Rosa Sharon bushes out. I want to. My wife doesn't want me to do it unless I put up the fence at the same time. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a good enough plan. I'll be honest with you. I just don't have a good enough plan. But if I get hurt, I'll have a plan. If I hurt myself, I'll go to TOC Sports and have them fix me because that's what they do. All right. No Steve Merrill yet. So my guess is that we're going to have Steve Merrill in hour number 2, which means we're going to open up the phone lines here, 256-576-4977. That will get you into the show. I opened up with some heavy stuff about scheduling and the demise of divisions in the NCAA, specifically in the SEC. I think that it'll happen. I don't think Oklahoma or Texas will ever play in the Western Division of the SEC because there's not going to be an SEC West. It's not going to happen. This is gone. Gonzo. That's what's going to happen here. All right, let's go to the lines. Grumpy is up first. Grumpy, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, man, you must know somebody if you got a backhoe coming. I've called several people trying to get a pad built for a building. And, man, with all this building going on, it's tough to get a guy to come to your property.
Well, I got a backhoe. I rented a backhoe. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
If you need a backhoe, you know where to go. You go to Valley Equipment Rental. And
I don't want to. Yeah, I'm putting up a good sized building, and I can't do all that. You know.
Yeah.
But
now, are you putting the building on is it a pole barn or is it about being built on a pad?
It's going to be a shop at my place, but it's 40 by 60 with a slab.
One of those tin buildings?
Yeah, it's metal. Yeah.
Yeah, metal building. 40 by 60. See, that's exactly what I'm doing, but mine is not going to be 40 by 60. I think mine's going to be 36 by 40, and it's going to have 3 bays. You know, it's going to be one of those 3-bay deals. But I got to put a slab down first, and then they build it right off the slab, right? Like a pole barn, you build the pole barn first, and then you pour your floor afterwards. But these tin buildings, they build them on the slab itself, I think.
All right. But, hey, listen, you were saying you wouldn't do away with Auburn and Georgia. I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you look up the Auburn-Georgia record, you know, Georgia's totally owned us being Auburn. I think we're like 2-10 in the last 12 games, and one of those was a miracle. Maybe we're 3-9 or something, and one of those was that miracle that happened where the ball got tipped and it was severely blah, blah, blah. The smartest thing Auburn can do is drop Georgia. That would be the best move because you can't play Georgia and Alabama.
Well, yeah, but that worm turns. We're talking about 100 years of history here. We're not talking about the last 12 games. We're not talking about.
All right, here we go. 4th and 18 for the Tigers. Here's your ball game. Nick Marshall stands in, steps up. He's going to throw downfield, just a home run ball, and it is tipped up. And Lewis got it on the deflection. Lewis is going to score. Lewis is going to score. Lewis is going to score. Touchdown, Auburn. Touchdown, Auburn. A miracle in Jordan-Hare. A miracle in Jordan-Hare. 73 yards, and the Tigers, with 25 seconds to go, lead 43-38.
Yeah, great Rob Bramlett on the call there to prayer at Jordan here.
That's a wonderful call. It's a great call. But, you know, you can't play on tradition like that. Things change, and you have to adapt with them.
But do you think it's going to be that way forever? Don't you think that Auburn could go through a streak of 15 years?
Let me finish what I'm saying. Texas A&M is not Georgia. Texas is not Georgia. Those teams sound really strong, and they're strong, but they're not Georgia. Georgia is a powerhouse and will continue to be a powerhouse, and you can't play Georgia and Alabama and have 2 losses most years because that's what's happening.
So what should Tennessee do? So should Tennessee not play Alabama because Alabama's dominated it for the last 15 years? Tennessee dominated it for the 15 years before that.
Yeah, but the question is what 3 games would you pick? That's the question. So I'm saying Auburn plays Ole Miss, a lot of tradition there, and you win the game probably 65-70% of the time. You keep the Alabama game. And the third game would probably, with me, I would start it with Texas A&M, and I'd play them every year.
Yeah,
Texas. But you can't listen to me. You can't have 2 of your 3 locked-in teams being Alabama and Georgia. It's a recipe for
you can dominate Alabama like it did for 6 or 7 years. They dominated Alabama. If that worm turns, I mean, you're talking about 2 of the greatest rivalries in the SEC, the Iron Bowl and the oldest rivalry in the Deep South. I mean, how can you not play Georgia every year? And then I think you had Florida.
Let me put it to you this way. We can handle Alabama. We've proven it. We don't fear Alabama. We punch you guys in the nose as often as you punch us in the nose. But Georgia dominates Auburn. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. We don't fear Alabama. Get over it.
So you're saying you'd play Alabama, but you don't want to play Georgia. I don't know.
What I want is I want a couple of weeks off. I want before the SEC championship, and then we'll take on Georgia. We'll have to get by Georgia one way or the other, but I don't want them stacked. I don't want them stacked in our 3 games we play every year with Alabama. So it comes down to which means more to you, the Georgia game or the Alabama game. And what means more to me is the Iron Bowl. So I would drop Georgia, pick up Texas A&M, and play Ole Miss. That's my 3.
From 1983 to 2001, Auburn dominated that series against Georgia. Dominated that series against Georgia. It could happen again. That worm could turn.
Well,
I mean, you don't know. You're just giving up on beating Georgia. You beat them 3 times in the last 15 years. But before that, they dominated them. I mean,
but I'm 50. I'm 54 years old, man. How many more years do I got left? I don't want to walk through. I don't want. Right now we're getting dominated by Georgia, and I think we will be for the next few years because Auburn can't decide what they want to do. Auburn people eat their children, man. I mean, we hire this coach. I'm sold on the coach, and then now we're trying to fire the coach within a year of him being there. It's just ridiculous what goes on at Auburn. But I have to ask you a question. Are you insulating the ceiling? Are you insulating the roof on your building?
I probably am not going to.
Let me throw this. Go ahead and insulate it so you don't have. Are you going to have any condensation problems? You know what I'm saying? Don't insulate the sides, but pay the extra $1,200 or whatever.
Oh, do the ceiling and not the side. I thought I'd do the sides and not the ceiling. So yeah, do the ceiling but not the sides. Okay.
Well, the thing is when they do it, they put it on before they put the roof on. They pinch it in between. So if you're going to do the ceiling, you need to do it when you build the building. Because I have seen buildings before that drip condensation because they didn't insulate the ceiling. The walls you can always do later.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. All right, I appreciate you. That's a good point. And he says that they don't fear Alabama.
Yeah.
Look, the last 15 years they've beaten Alabama 4 times. 4 times.
They got an 11-game lead in the series. Alabama does, and in the Georgia series, Georgia only has a 6-game lead. In the history of the 2 programs.
Yeah, and for the years before, for 10, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They won 6 out of 8 in the first 8 games of the century. Auburn won 6 out of 8 against Alabama. Since 2008. They are 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're 4 and 10. So they're 4 and 10 in the last 14 games against Alabama. Against Georgia in the last 14 games, they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They're 3. So they're 4-10 against Alabama, and they're 3-11 against Georgia. You know what? It's not Alabama or Georgia's fault that Auburn has fallen off. I don't think you can get rid of that. I don't think you can just stop playing the Georgia series because Georgia has won, you've only beaten them 3 times since 2006. Between 1999 and 2005, you beat them 5 out of 7 games. 5 out of 7 games. I don't see Georgia saying, oh, we don't want to play Auburn. Can't play Auburn. I think Georgia would have to play that game. I think that Georgia would play. Of course, they got to play Florida. They'd have Auburn, and then maybe Tennessee. How about Tennessee having to play Georgia and Alabama? But I mean, you know what? Get your ass back where you were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, nobody wants to play Georgia and Alabama.
And Georgia beat them like 9 in a row back in the 20s. It's like, I get it. It's the 20s. It's when I want to. That's a long history, but that's 3. That's 3 games.
This century.
Yeah.
This century, Auburn had a run where they won 5 out of 7 games.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Yes, the last 15 years has been tough. There's no doubt about it. But as an Auburn fan, you're just like bagging. You just bag them. All right. Here's another Zach Miller, college football writer. This was his plan. Auburn would play Alabama, Georgia, Vanderbilt. Alabama would play Auburn, Tennessee, Mississippi State. I get them not 80 miles and all that kind of stuff, but I think I'd rather have Alabama, LSU every year. Which, by the way, Alabama dominated for years and years and years. At one point in time, I think they won like 22 out of 25 or something like that against LSU. Arkansas would have LSU, Missouri, and Texas. That makes sense. Florida would have Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee. Georgia would have Florida, Auburn, and South Carolina. So is Georgia, they belly aching? Oh, God, we got to play Florida and Auburn? When did Auburn become a second-class citizen? When did Auburn... Why would Auburn dodge anybody? When does it become that Auburn is going to dodge anybody because they're good? Kentucky would have South Carolina, Mississippi State, and Missouri. This is one writer's opinion. LSU would have Arkansas, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss. You see, I would have LSU playing Texas. I think LSU and Texas should get together. Ole Miss would have State, Vandy, LSU. State would have Ole Miss, Kentucky, Alabama. Missouri would have Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kentucky. Oklahoma would have Missouri, Texas, Texas A&M. I think that's what I said. Yeah. Texas, Texas A&M, and Missouri for Oklahoma. South Carolina would have Kentucky, Florida, and Georgia. Well, the Gamecock people are going to say, well, hell, man, Florida and Georgia beat us all the time. We don't want to play those people. We want Kentucky and Vanderbilt and Missouri. Well, no, it doesn't work that way. Tennessee would have Vandy, Alabama, Florida. In my plan, I got Tennessee playing Vandy, Alabama, Georgia. A&M would have Oklahoma, or Texas would have A&M, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. That makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. A&M would play Texas, LSU, and Oklahoma. And Vandy has Tennessee, Ole Miss, and Auburn. That's the way that's Zach Miller's. That's very, very similar, very close to what I got. That's why I don't like the pod. The pod is Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Alabama, Auburn because of location. And those are your teams. Alabama then would play Auburn, Vandy, and Tennessee. Auburn would play Alabama, Vandy, and Tennessee. Georgia would be in a pod with Florida, South Carolina, and Kentucky.
Yeah, and Kentucky's kind of messed up on that pod. It's like
which one?
Kentucky, because it's just a geographical area of like where all the SEC schools are. Like when you're trying to put these pods together.
Yeah.
Like I would have put like maybe Vandy, Tennessee. Like you would have lost
Kentucky,
to Auburn.
Missouri.
Yeah, or something like
Kentucky,
that.
Missouri,
Missouri,
Vandy, Tennessee. If you're doing a pod.
Yeah.
You're doing a pod. I would do Kentucky, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and Missouri.
But then maybe South Carolina loses out because then it's like South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Auburn, or Florida, Auburn, or I don't know. That's like a weird.
I go Alabama if you're doing a pod now.
Yeah,
I go
yeah,
Alabama, Auburn, Mississippi, Ole Miss and Mississippi
Oh
State.
yeah, definitely.
To me, that would be a pod, and then LSU, Texas A&M, Texas, and Oklahoma. That's a pod.
Yeah.
To me, that would be a pod. You know what I mean? You'd have all those teams that are over there around Texas. That would make sense. But here's the thing. If you do this, you lose Georgia, Auburn. They play twice every 4 years. Texas A&M in this pod, where they're with Mississippi, Mississippi State, LSU, and Texas A&M, they'd only play, they play twice every 4 years. Tennessee would play twice every 4 years. I think you keep the rivalries together. I think what you need to do is you need to keep the rivalries together. However you get there, I think that's what you do. And I don't think that Alabama and Mississippi State is a bigger rivalry than Arkansas and Alabama and LSU. I still think Alabama, LSU be bigger than State. I mean, they've owned State forever. I get that it's 80 miles away and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they haven't won since 2007.
Yeah. I understand that.
And LSU's one time in the last 10 years.
LSU's only beaten Alabama once in 10 years? Is that what you're saying? That's not true.
Yeah, look at the since 2021, they won in 19, and then Alabama won from 2012 to 2018.
Oh, you didn't go to 11. 11 because 11
Oh, yeah,
them.
sorry, yeah.
So wow.
Yeah.
LSU, really? Holy crap. All right, the NFL schedule comes out tonight, by the way. And only the NFL can do this with their schedule release where it becomes such a thing. I mean, this is an actual thing, the NFL schedule release. It's going to be very interesting. This will be a 2-hour show. It's going to be very interesting, Grizz, to see what the ratings are for the NFL schedule release.
Yeah.
Versus the NHL and NBA playoffs. You know what I mean?
Comparable.
More people may watch the NFL schedule release, and there's little leaks that are coming out now. More and more leaks are coming out. It was just leaked. I don't know who it said. The Detroit Lions opening game was just leaked. I don't know. I forget who it was against. But all of these leaks are coming out right now. I can tell you this, that based on strength of schedule, the Rams have the most difficult schedule in the NFL next season, this upcoming season. The Rams, Cardinals, Bengals, and Bucks have the top 4 hardest schedules in the NFL. Remember, the schedule is determined based on where you finish. So the Rams are playing all first-place teams outside of their division, and then another division that they play in the in their conference, and then they'll play one division in the other conference. The easiest schedule in the entire NFL this year is the Dallas Cowboys.
Of course.
Dallas Cowboys. They have the easiest. Well, part of it is their division sucks. So they got 6 games against New York, Philadelphia, and Washington. So that, you know what I mean? Dallas and Washington tied for the easiest schedule. Their opponents had a .462 winning percentage. The easiest schedule in the AFC is the Colts. And the Colts are starting to gain momentum. I don't know what the number is now in terms of futures, but the Colts could be a sneaky Super Bowl. Can you imagine Matt Ryan taking the Colts? They got one of the top 3 running backs and Jonathan Taylor. Now they got Matt Ryan. Could the Colts be the favorite in the AFC? Or could they sneak out? Look, nobody thought the Bengals were coming out of the AFC. Could the Colts be the Bengals this year? They have the easiest schedule in the entire AFC. All right, we'll get a break. When we come back, lines remain open. We'll set you up for hour number 2. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
America First Alabama PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The liberals are afraid. Afraid of what is coming to Washington. They're afraid of Republican Casey Wardynski. Casey Wardynski is the fearless conservative that North Alabama needs. He will stand up to the woke mob that is trying to ruin our country. And Casey Wardynski will never back down in his beliefs. Casey Wardynski answered President Trump's call and served our country as Assistant Secretary of the Army. We don't need to send weak-kneed career politicians who've sold out to the establishment to Washington. We need a Trump-tested Republican. Casey Wardynski, the only choice we have for Congress. On Tuesday, May 24th, let's scare the hell out of the liberals. Let's send Casey Wardynski to Washington.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Did you know that your car, truck, or SUV may be worth over 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we'd love your trade-in for a personalized custom factory order on a 2022 Explorer, Expedition, Ranger, or F-150. You'll get exactly the color and options you want, and Woody Anderson Ford will save you 5% off MSRP, plus you'll get any additional Ford factory rebates. Or if you need a new ride today, choose a Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned vehicle. We have over 100 to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with our 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. At Woody Anderson Ford, whether it's a new order or a pre-owned, we promise to always do the right thing. Corner of George and Sparkman, hope to see you soon.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. An isolated shower is going to be possible at the end of the day. Most of us probably going to end up staying dry, so I don't want you to think about that too much. Highs climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're going to get really, really close to 90 degrees. Looks like we're going to fall just shy. Lows only dropping into the upper 50s and lower 60s through the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Friday. A slightly better opportunity for a little bit of rain come the later part of the afternoon, early into the evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Download our app today. Just search 97.7 ESPN.
It's water and dust resistant.
That's 977 ESPN. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And that's it.
Yeah, I think we know what show that was. Maybe there's a theme today. Maybe Grizz is using throwback themes that have the name of the show in the song. All right, we had Maverick, and it was Maverick, and then Good Times, and the show was Good Times. Okay, so now what was Good Times? Wasn't Good Times no, that was the Jeffersons. Was the Good Times a spinoff of something? I don't know if Good Times was a spinoff of something or
not that I know of. Oh no, it was a spinoff of All in the Family. Yes.
No, that was the Jeffersons. The
Hold
Jeffersons
on.
were
I'm sorry, Maude.
Maude,
yes.
Okay,
yes,
that makes sense.
Yes, Maude. That's what it was, Maude.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's been a while since and I've seen Maude too. I loved Maude. I thought Maude was great.
Maude was
mean.
Pretty good. She was pretty.
I loved her husband. He was funny.
She had two great shows. Maude.
Walter.
Yeah, Walter. Oh, she dominated.
God,
him.
Walter, man.
It was in the day of the women's movement and everything else like that, and the women were they were showing.
Hey
them
man, that's
powerful.
a good show though, man. That was funny.
Maude was good, and then she was in the Golden Girls. So
of course, yes.
Whatever her name was, the girl that played Maude, I forget what her name is, but yeah, she was in a couple of.
Beatrice Arthur.
Beatrice Arthur. Yeah,
yes.
How could I forget Beatrice Arthur? Yeah. All right, coming up at the top of the hour. Trash Pandas manager Andy Schatzley will join us, and we'll talk to him. His team still they dropped another one last night, Grizz, in Pensacola, but they still have the best record in all of minor league baseball. So we'll talk to the skipper, Andy Schatzley, coming up at the top of the hour. Greg Sankey said regarding what's going on now in this, the SEC will be holding its spring meetings early next month. And the thought process is that they're going to come out of these spring meetings with a makeover of the league's football scheduling model. All right, and it's going to happen in time for the Oklahoma and Texas coming in, and it's likely going to mean the 9-game schedule. Greg Sankey says, I look at this as an opportunity and have from the beginning of the conversation last August. He said, in terms of bringing in Oklahoma and Texas and what it will do on scheduling. Let's look at everything. He says, so I have 2 anchor points. One, let's engage in blue sky thinking. And what is meant to be conveyed by that is kind of detach from reality for a bit and look at all of the possibilities. And the second is how do we rotate teams through our league's campuses more frequently? He says this 1 out of every 12-year approach, which we have now with this schedule, we would have to turn the page on that whether we expand it or not. What probably is not understood as we were thinking in the beginning of a scheduling review back in 2019. We're actually bringing a report to our presidents in March of 2020. We were bringing in analysts to that meeting and think about what a future 14-team schedule looks like. And then the pandemic and, of course, adding the 2 teams and everything changed, so that all got tabled. We're going to get 9 games. I like my SEC playoff idea, personally. All right, coming up, Trash Panda manager Andy Schatzley will join us next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The world champs are back. The Braves are out to defend their world championship. And behind Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna, Dansby Swanson, Max Fried, and this loaded 2022 roster, a repeat is within reach.
Here goes Ozzie, 2-2 on the way, hit well. Deep center field. Might have ourselves a tie ball game. You betcha.
And we'll bring you every huge moment of the Braves 2022 season right here on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting the Jaguars and top overall pick Trayvon Walker agreed to his rookie contract. 4-year, fully guaranteed, worth over $37 million. Patriots trading backup quarterback Jarrett Stidham to the Raiders. The teams will flip late-round draft picks. Stidham's standing on the roster was in jeopardy when New England drafted Western Kentucky QB Bailey Zappi last month. Penguins captain Sidney Crosby set for evaluation today on an upper body injury. Crosby injured in the Game 5 loss of their first-round NHL playoff series to the Rangers following a hit from New York defenseman Jacob Trouba. Game 6 is tomorrow. Second-round NBA playoffs, Heat with a chance to end the 76ers season tonight. Miami up 3-2 at Philly. Game 6, 6:30 Eastern ESPN Radio, 7 Eastern ESPN TV. Suns close out the Mavs with a win tonight in Game 6, 9:30 Eastern ESPN TV.
Hey, North Alabama, this is Chuck Oliver. We've got college football all over the place, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
Where would this college be without football?
Listen to me weekdays at noon on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Welcome back, hour number 2. This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage, serving all of Alabama, Florida, and Tennessee. We are in a very competitive home buying market, and North Alabama Mortgage has a plan to help you get your offer accepted. Go to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. Learn more about that. And don't forget, too, with these rates going up like crazy, this is a great time to jump in, lock in a low rate, and refinance with your property. I was lucky. I did this a couple of months ago and got in at 3.1. You're not going to get that now, but they're going to help you get through the whole process. And certainly Brian Hamaker and his team are going to guide you like your family, because that's just the way they roll. They're just that cool for sure. All right, joining us now, the manager of the Rocket City Trash Pandas with the best record in all of the Southern League, Andy Schatzley joins us. Skip, welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you guys for having me. In the world of radio intros, that's the first time I've heard it, and I can't imagine that there are three better national radio intros than that one. So
I appreciate you saying that.
Thank you guys for having me. Really, really excited to be here.
Well, I appreciate you saying it. No doubt about it. Can I give you a little advice? Because I've been known to give managers, coaches. I coached college football 11 years, and I am full of ideas. So can I just give you? I want to give you a thought that you maybe haven't thought of yet. I just want to throw it out there. Can I throw something out there to you?
I feel like that you're going to give it to me whether I want it or not. So we'll just go ahead and say yes, and you go ahead and lay it on me.
I am going to give it to you whether you want it or not. Here's an idea. Pitch around this Encarnacion kid, will you? For God's sakes. I mean, either hit him or pitch around him. Just because this kid's tearing you guys up right now.
He's a nice player, and he had a big night last night.
Is he kin to the Encarnacion that played in the major leagues?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how common of a name that is, but I know he's as talented as any big leaguer, regardless of what their name is.
You told us when we were on the mezzanine talking to you on Media Day that, yes, you understood that this is a developmental operation, obviously at AA baseball, but you also that winning was important to you. And your team seems to accepted that challenge. 18-11, best record in the Southern League, only team playing over 600 ball in the Southern League. You're developing the talent, obviously. We've already seen, the Whitefield kid go up, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But you're winning baseball games. Just talk about that mentality, because it seems to be something, from the big club all the way down, it seems to be a theme right now.
Yeah, it starts with Perry. It starts at the top. It starts with our leadership structure. It starts with Perry and Joe up there, and Joey Probinski, our farm director. One can really beget the other if it's done right. If you've got the right people, if you've got the right players, if you've got the right staff. In my opinion, and this is just me personally, the best way for these guys to develop as individuals is for us to play a winning brand collectively. And so far, at least for the first 30 or so games, we've been able to do that.
Isn't that part of the process, though, too, is learning how to win and having that expectation of winning? And everybody talks about the numbers, and you get at-bats, and you want to have good at-bats and all that. But isn't there something to be said for developing winners, that go out to win?
100%. There's context to everything, and you have to learn how to perform, and you have to learn how to perform in certain environments. I think Reed throwing a no-hitter the other night, I think that's got a chance to be really impactful for the young portion of the roster on the big league side, for those guys to have to play nervous, to have to play with something on the line and play with some expectations. And winning in the minor leagues is no different. Closing a game is closing a game. The ninth inning is a different animal. And in my opinion, there's an emotional and a very, very human component that comes with closing out games and the outcome mattering to you. And you have to rehearse that, and you have to prepare for that, just like you do the physical aspects of the game.
So take me through Tuesday night, because that game starts basically, I think, after you guys are done, when Reed Detmer is pitching. He's had mixed results. He's looked good at times for sure up there, but there was nothing that led to believe that this could happen. Who's watching the game back at a hotel or paying attention to it? And then as it's getting later in the game, what's going on? Do the guys know what's going on? Are they all, in the rack by then, or are they out, having late dinner? Tell me about it.
I don't know. You would have to ask them specifically as the manager, and we just lost. So I was probably the last person to be aware of it. I kind of stay away from social media. I stay away from my phone. I talk to my family. I turned the TV on and just happened to find it and realized what was going on as I turned the TV on. So I'm probably the wrong person to talk to, because I was completely oblivious until the ninth inning. I know that they were all extremely excited. There was a group of them in the lobby together. I heard them talking about it a little bit yesterday. But, Reed's 22 years old, so there has been some mixed results up there, but he got there extremely quickly and was also drafted in the middle of the pandemic. So his quote-unquote first year of professional experience and development was a very, very abnormal year. And so to be able to do what he's done at his age with everything that he's had to navigate is incredible. And there's a ton of guys on this roster that have spent a lot of time with him. So all of us really excited, including myself, and also can't say enough about Michael Wirtz and the job that he did with him whenever they were here together last year.
Trash Panda skipper Andy Schatzley with us here. And just from a baseball standpoint, how cool was it to see him do that with just 2 strikeouts in this day and age, of all or nothing baseball, it seems like that was a total team effort. They played great behind him, and from an organizational standpoint, to see the Angels playing this kind of baseball, I know they dropped that one last night, but to see them playing that kind of baseball and winning ball, leading their division, and playing behind Detmers the way they did, that was pretty impressive. That was like a whole team no-hitter, if you will.
100%. And I think it's hopefully a microcosm of everything that we're trying to do as an organization. It's special for me because it hasn't just been a year in the making. A lot of this stuff, in my opinion, what's coming to fruition this year is a lot of really, really hard work that's gone into this place for a long time, really starting from whenever Perry came on in 20. We started trending in this direction, and you can't boil the ocean. It's not going to happen all at once. And I feel like as a group, and I'm talking top to bottom, that the organization has stacked a lot of good days together and a lot of good people in here working at it, and we're starting to see the results a little bit. Now it's going to be up to us to sustain it. But you're right. Especially in this day and age and the way the game is trending, to do that with just 2 strikeouts is incredible. It's a testament to the coaching staff up there. It's a testament to the player development staffs and the guys that have been with those guys. And it was really special for us, too. Not only is Reed on the mound, but Aaron Whitefield was a defensive replacement for the last 3 innings. So really, really neat for us on a lot of levels.
Yeah, Whitefield played last night as well. He's still looking for that first big league hit. Now, he had a hit in 23 to 24 starts with you guys. His 16-game hitting streak. He was hitting over 300.
Right.
Again, now, pull back the curtain a little bit. Who gets to tell the kid? Do you get the call and you call him into the office? Is it like, you know what I mean? Is it right out of, Bull Durham? Or who gets to tell the kid? Or do you just find out from the organization and they talk to him directly?
It is relayed to me. I get to be the one lucky enough to relay the message. It doesn't always happen in a Cinderella-type fashion, like where you pull them in and everybody cries and that type of thing. Whitey found out midnight, 12:30, I guess, on Saturday night is when we got the phone call that it was happening, still 10 or 10:30 out on the West Coast. So the first thing you have to do is find him. Second thing you got to do is be able to get him on the phone. And then life's happening pretty fast. I was actually I was finishing Burger King in the middle of my apartment, if you really want to know, if you really want behind the curtain on what it was like whenever I told him. But lucky enough to get a chance to tell him, and, just something, a guy that comes from a college background and has a lot of reverence for the industry and the game itself. One of the best moments of my professional life, for sure.
Very, very cool. A Chiking sandwich or a burger? Because, that Chiking sandwich they got over there at the Burger King is strong. That might be the best fast food chicken sandwich going right now, the Chiking sandwich. Try that out.
I got a burger. It was, my phone was ringing. My wife was giving me a hard time for ordering Burger King at 11:45 at night. And then our farm director called and tells me that we've got to get a hold of Whitefield. And so it was awesome. It was just great on so many levels, and well-deserved on his part. He is really was a big part of our heartbeat here. Incredibly difficult to replace here, and I am also really glad that we're trying to have it figured out because it's great for him.
Impact in the clubhouse on the other guys when they see a guy make that jump. I mean, you send a lot of guys to AAA. I mean, this is something where a guy goes right to the show from AA. But what kind of an impact does it have on the rest of the guys? Are there guys that are like bummed that it's not them, or is everybody like, damn, they just took Whitey up, I'm next? That could be me.
I think that it depends on where guys are at in their career. The best part about what we've got going here is the group dynamic, in my opinion. I think the biggest byproduct of what it does is the message that Perry sends to everybody, that the preparation that we do day in, day out, sometimes you can feel like you're a long way away from Anaheim. Huntsville, Alabama, Pensacola, Florida is a long way away from Angel Stadium. And so the work these guys do pregame, I talked to you guys about that a lot the day that we talked in person. I mean, these guys walk in the door at 11:30 or 12 o'clock. And when you do that far away, sometimes it can feel like a long way away. And it just really helps. I think it's a shot in the arm for all of us. It helps remind us, not that you need a reminder, but if any of these guys were ever to need one, that, hey, it's not that far away. And everything you do every day is going to have an impact not only on your career, but on the big league club also.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Andy Shatsley with us here talking about what it's been like with the Trash Pandas and off to a great start this season, and then managing all the personalities that are involved in this. Now, the other thing you have to do is you got to deal with the kid that comes down from AAA to AA. He's going to get more at-bats. He's going to get more looks and so on. How do you deal with that kid, with that guy when he comes to you and maybe he's a little down in the dauber and, you got to tell him, first of all, you're playing in a great place, great town, great stadium. And how do you keep him motivated?
It's completely situation specific. Everybody's personality is different. It goes back to the human element that we talked about earlier. And in this case, with it being Orlando Martinez, could not be easier. I've known Orlando since 2020. We were in COVID instructs together. Kenny had him in COVID instructs, had him a year ago here. Could not be one of the best and sweetest-hearted humans on the planet. And so from his standpoint, just be really direct on what we feel like that he needs to work on and just take care of him. And you're here for him, and you're here to kick them whenever they need to be kicked, but you're also here to hug them whenever they need to be hugged. And Orlando is good-hearted and as hard of working and as good a talent as he is, makes it super simple and straightforward in this case.
So you got a kid in Trey Cabbage, right, who's got to be a fan favorite. He's out of Knoxville, Tennessee. He's hitting 327. He's got 9 homers, 31 RBI, a great OPS. But the big club is kind of stacked that we're in his spot. You know what I mean? And I don't know what the future would hold for him. Do a lot of these guys think about, look, it's the Angels, but I'm also there's those other 29 organizations that might be looking at me that maybe I become a piece for the Angels to move so that they can build their roster the way they want it, and maybe he has another path to get to the big club.
I think that goes for anybody in any industry. I mean, anything that you do is going to be equity on your resume and career. Anything that you do publicly, you're either making an investment or you're making a withdrawal. And Trey's a guy that makes an incredible investment day in, day out with the way it works. That's going to, in my opinion, pay substantial dividends for the Angels and for him in the future. If that happens to be somewhere else, he takes care of his business every day. So if the Angels need him, he's going to be ready. If the Trash Pandas need him, he's going to be ready. He's not a guy that, in my opinion, worries about the context and who all might be watching. He's going to keep his head down to try to be the best player that he can be and let the rest of the results take care of themselves. But to your point, that is part of the industry. It is part of it does factor in to these guys that there's always eyes on you, and it's not just this club's eyes on you. But in my opinion, Trey's a special player that has a really special future here.
Finally, last year, it seemed like everything was all or nothing with the team. I mean, they scored runs on home runs, but there was an issue about putting the ball in play. This team has some pop. There's no doubt about it. You got a number of guys that already have, 5 home runs, and Trey with 9 home runs. But it also seems to be a team that makes runs, that manufactures runs, that somehow you're getting through to them the idea that, the ball can be put in play. There are a lot of other ways to move that conga line along and score runs. Am I missing something here, or am I seeing part of the success of this team is that you put the ball in play?
That is a big part of what's made us consistent. It's a big part of what Kenny preaches year in, year out. A lot of that stuff, a lot of the way that your offensive production shakes out, it's really dependent on your personnel. It's one of my favorite things about Kenny is how versatile he is. He can match the strategy to situations with a group of hitters better than anybody that I've ever seen. One thing that we've talked about, specifically I've heard him talk about that I've discussed with us as an offense, is that we're only going to be as consistent as what we are versatile. And we've run into that a little bit the last couple nights. It's a little bit of a different ballpark here. The ballpark plays a little bigger. The wind blows in, and we've also been pitched extremely tough. But it's something that he stresses day in, day out to try to put as many tools in these guys' tool belt to be able to put the ball in play, to be able to bunt, to be able to steal a base, to lay steal, hit and run, whatever we've got to do. And the more tools we have at our disposal, the better that we're going to be able to match the strategy to the situation night in, night out, and try to be as consistent as what we can be.
Are you guys using obviously a lot of conversation about the ball right now at the big league level. Are you guys using the same ball that they use, or are you using, I know they –
We
Go ahead.
We are. We're using the Major League Baseball. So
yeah.
There is some experimental stuff coming with the nature of whether it's traditional rubbing or pre-rubbed balls or pre-sprayed balls and that type of thing. But it is the Major League Baseball and AA this season.
But you don't have the humidor, right? I mean, you guys aren't using a humidor or anything like that. No, yeah.
I don't know that you need a humidor. I think Alabama's a humidor. So
Alabama is a humidor.
I don't know that we need the humidor here, but no, we're not using that.
The entire Southern League.
But I also didn't know that Reed Detmers was throwing a no-hitter until the ninth inning.
Well, that's
the wrong guy to ask.
That's a good point.
So.
And you didn't know about the Chiking sandwich either, which is really great, at Burger King as well. And that's a non-sponsored plug too, So that's a good burger. All right, or a good sandwich. All right, man. Well, good luck tonight. Get that thing straightened out. I know you guys are going to win a lot of baseball games. Keep playing great ball. It's great watching this team play the way they play, and the energy that they bring to the ballpark every night is fantastic. And I appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us and being a good sport about it.
Always, guys. Whenever you need me, and thank you for everything you do.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Thanks. Just stay away from that Encarnacion kid. So what did he say? One of the 3 greatest radio show opens in the nation. Now, he didn't say, like, in North Alabama or in the region or anything like that. He said that was one of the 3 greatest radio opens in the nation. In the nation. Now, I'm going to say this about that, Grizz. That was a national open. You know what I mean? That's the hour 2 open that he heard.
Yeah.
In all fairness.
Yeah.
That is something that was done nationally by the network.
Right.
When I was in, and we've modified it to fit this show, but when I was in Nashville, I would fill in on what was then the Yahoo Sports Network. I used to fill in for Tim Brando.
Yeah.
On the spot on the Yahoo Sports Network. And so their guys in Los Angeles did a special open specifically for me when I was doing the show. And that's what that is. Someday I'll dig it up and we'll play the actual one. It was modified greatly, but the actual one was pretty good too. So I will say that. It's a great. It was a great piece. But, huh?
It was great. It was up there.
Top 3, he said. Shatsley said top 3.
Top 3.
Top 3. I don't know what the other 2 are. I mean, but he said top 3. I mean, it's definitely better than Paul's
especially because we're on like all the streams too. We're national. It's all national.
That's true too.
It's global. You can watch us anywhere.
Global.
You know what I mean?
And you can hear that over and over and over again. I think the guy that does Paul's opening is Taylor Hicks. That was Taylor Hicks that does that Paul thing.
Yes.
My first hour opening, nobody does it like Thom Abraham. That was done by Ed White in Nashville. All right, Ed White in Nashville did that as well. And then there was always one of the guys on my crew that did the social media that didn't like the fact that he and Brad Hopkins weren't mentioned in Nobody Does It Like Thom Abraham. Wait, that was that one.
Hold up. Yo, Charlie, turn me up in the headphones. The Mexicutioner, Big Dog Productions. Here I go. This ain't nobody does it like Thom Abraham, but me and B-Hop got to take a stand. It's all about Tom, but it ain't right. Making B-Hop use a crusty mic. High-tech redneck soprano. Italian stallion doodle like tomato. It's your show, it's your song, but didn't mention us. That's just wrong.
Yeah, I'm too corny to produce something like that.
They didn't like. Oh, the Mexicutioner produced it. He sang it. I mean, he did.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I could rap and sing for you either.
Look, when you're in Nashville, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting somebody that's a musician that wants to do stuff like that. I had Tony Colon doing stuff. I had Ed White doing stuff. I had the Mexicutioner doing stuff. These guys, and they would do it on their own because they would do stuff for you.
Yeah.
And then they would want you to play it. You know what I mean? So they would get some play time.
Play it.
Now, come on, man, you got to play this. When Darius Rucker called the show, he wouldn't do anything for it. He did give me some drops. He wasn't going to sing a song for me, though. I mean, it wasn't that. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, we go to the phones, line up behind the Phillip, Some of you love him. Some of you hate him. He's up next. It's the Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
NBA Game 6 is tonight in the semifinals. The Heat up 3-2 on the Sixers and a 2.5-point underdog in Philadelphia, 207 the set total. In the West, the Suns lead the Mavericks 3-2. Phoenix a 2-point favorite in Game 6 in Dallas, 212.5 the total. Baseball, the Braves off tonight. Atlanta opening a home weekend series against the Padres on Friday. Max Fried set to get the start in Game 1 against Yu Darvish of San Diego. The 2022 AT&T Byron Nelson from McKinney, Texas today through Sunday. Scotty Scheffler a plus 1,000 favorite ahead of Justin Thomas at plus 1,200 and Xander Schauffele at plus 1,800.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
The world champs are back. The Braves are out to defend their world championship. And behind Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna, Dansby Swanson, Max Fried, and this loaded 2022 roster, a repeat is within reach.
There goes Ozzie, 2-2 on the way, hit well. Deep center field. Might have ourselves a tie ball game. You betcha.
And we'll bring you every huge moment of the Braves 2022 season right here on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Did you know that your car, truck, or SUV may be worth over 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we'd love your trade-in for a personalized custom factory order on a 2022 Explorer, Expedition, Ranger, or F-150. You'll get exactly the color and options you want, and Woody Anderson Ford will save you 5% off MSRP, plus you'll get any additional Ford factory rebates. Or if you need a new ride today, choose a Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned vehicle. We have over 100 to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with our 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. At Woody Anderson Ford, whether it's a new order or a pre-owned, we promise to always do the right thing. Corner of George and Sparkman, hope to see you soon.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. An isolated shower is going to be possible at the end of the day. Most of us probably going to end up staying dry, so I don't want you to think about that too much. Highs climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're going to get really, really close to 90 degrees. Looks like we're going to fall just shy. Lows only dropping into the upper 50s and lower 60s through the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Friday. A slightly better opportunity for a little bit of rain come the later part of the afternoon, early into the evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
This is Mike Greenberg. Be sure and download the app today. Just search for 97.7 ESPN and listen to my show every weekday right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Come and knock on our door.
Come and knock on our door.
We've been waiting for you.
We've been waiting for you.
Where the kisses are
Hers and his, Three's Company too.
Come and dance on our floor.
So we continue that theme.
Take a step that is
Name of the show in the open. Three's Company, Don Knotts. Don Knotts was on that deal. Suzanne Summers, Three's Company. Not one of the top three opens in the history of opens. Grizz, really, what you need to do is you need to be cutting that bit from Andy.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm already in the works.
You need to trim that and put that in a promo, of all of one of the top three opens in the country. You need to put that in there for Shatsley. All right. I'll tell you what, phone lines are open. Let's go to those phones. Still nothing on Steve Merrill, right? Is that what you said? Okay. All right, we'll go to the phone lines then. 256-576-4977. We've got legends on top of legends right now. So let's start with the Phillip. Phillip, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Tom, other than I'm a little bit hoarse. I'm at National Park.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm here right now. Their first pitch is 1:10 Eastern Time.
You're already hoarse? You're already hoarse and the game hasn't even started yet.
No, I was at the game last night.
Oh.
Now, last night we were right behind third base. I had to give Marte 3 shades of cane for his lazy lollygagging in right field that started that whole crap that made us lose the damn game. But anyway, we're going to win it today. I'm up in the nosebleeds. Guess who I met, though, just a minute ago? I got to get a picture with him. Gary Cohen.
Oh, really? Did you get a picture with him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. He's one of my favorites, Gary Cohen. He is really, really good.
He's solid. Today it's just Todd deal with him, Keith and Ronnie with him. I wish I could have met them, but anyway, it was cool meeting Gary. But
This is ironic. This is really ironic because I am supposed to be in Chicago today, going to the Yankees-White Sox game tonight, and my daughter actually bought this for Christmas for me and my son-in-law, who's a White Sox fan, and we were taking our wives, and we were going to Chicago, and we're spending 3 days there, and we had a beautiful hotel in downtown Chicago, and everything was all set up. I mean, a really nice trip to Chicago. Lower Bowl, she paid $750 for 4 Lower Bowl tickets to see the White Sox and the Yankees, and there ended up being something that came up in Florida. They had to go to Florida. We had to cancel the trip. So I was supposed to be at a Major League Baseball. I was supposed to be at the Yankees game today while you were at the Mets game.
Oh, man, that's a shame.
That's weird.
But yeah, that's what we did. We got a hotel, and hey, buddy, are you with the Mets by any chance? Okay. He looks really professional, this guy that just walked in the elevator. I'm live on the radio right now with Thom Abraham. You want to say hi, Thom Abraham? Just say hi. You say hi, Thom Abraham. What's up? I'm having a dude blast, man. But yeah, Nats Park is nice. I would say we have more Mets fans here than Nats fans yesterday, for sure. we were all chanting, "Release the rats! Release the rats!" Did you see that clip from their first game in this series when
I
the
did
rats
not.
ran out on the field?
I did not.
Hilarious. And then as soon as that happened, we won the ball game. It was amazing. So we're all chanting, "Release the rats!"
There you
It's
go.
a hoot. But having a good time.
Well, enjoy.
Tell everybody today.
Yeah. Say it again.
I said I love you. Tell everybody I said hey.
Oh, okay. All right. You love you too. Enjoy the game. Have a good time.
Go, man.
All right, man. Yeah. Second best team in his city. Mets are great.
Yeah.
They had the third best record in all of baseball. They have the second best record in their own city. All right. Wolverine Dan, you stay right there. Let me talk to Steve Merrill for a minute because this guy is red freaking hot. He, of course, is the handicapper from Pro Sports Info, and he joins us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Steve, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, Tom, doing well.
I don't know if my numbers are right or not. I'm just looking at my own results with you, and I think in your last 21 picks, combined with the NBA and the MLB, I have you at 15-6 in your last 21 selections. Is that about right? I mean, you are on it right now.
Yeah, we were on a 9-1 run the previous 6 days. Went 1-1 last night, so 10-2. And I think it's 14-5 for the month of May, and I think we went 1-1 on April 30th. So it's probably 15-6. Yeah.
Yeah, 15-6. I mean, that is a that and with the economy and the stock market doing what it's doing right now, I literally told my wife this morning. I said I think I'm going to pull everything out of the stock market and just put it in my sports betting account because the one thing that's great about betting a game is it doesn't matter what the economy is doing, right? It doesn't matter if they're allowing, drilling in Texas or anything like that. Doesn't matter because the game is still going to go on. And I think I know for a fact I'm doing a lot better on the sports betting with you than I'm doing with the, with the economy right now, with the stock market.
Yeah, and like we said last week, it's a non-correlated, diversified asset, right? It definitely is zero correlation to the equity market. So I would think it's not a bad way to diversify long term.
Well, they say you only lose when you sell, so I'm just riding it out. So that's the one thing about it is, and that's why we have to be smart about money management. That's something you always harp on. We haven't talked about it in a while, but when it comes to money management, it's really important. When you're sports betting because you don't want to run out of money. It's going to turn around. You might have a bad patch. You're not always going to be 15-6, but when it turns around, you still want to have something left to ride it back up.
Theoretically, you could go 99-1, 99% winners. And if you bet your entire bankroll in every game, you'd still go broke that one time, right? I know that's an absurd example, but it, amplifies why money management is the most important thing. And that's what gets people in trouble. You've got to have a long-term outlook, whether it's the markets, that you got to have a long-term outlook. If it's sports betting, the one thing I like about sports betting is that you can play either side. And now we talked about this last week. If you're short the stock market right now, you're making a lot of money. My trend following method is. But for the average investor in a 401k, obviously, it's a buy and hold, buy and hope, as I like to say. And it'd be like betting on the favorites in every game and just hoping they keep covering. So I think sports betting is a better form of diversified investment for that reason.
Yeah, it's no doubt about it. Now, last night, you were on the Warriors, and I didn't like it, but not because I didn't like the pick. I like the pick, but I hate the Warriors. You know what I mean? And so I was like, but I had to go ahead and threw a little something on it because it was the pick. We needed 40 points, though. We needed to have the Warriors plus 40. I mean, I don't even know what the hell that was last night. I don't even know what we watched last night. It's crazy.
We watched a team that, once again, for some bizarro reason, is better without one of the best players in the league. I can't figure it out. And, I mean, it's getting to a point now, Tom, where we have to really start asking, are the Grizzlies better without Ja Morant? And, I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but I think they're now 21-6 this season straight up when he does not play. And keep in mind, they were 20-5 going into Game 4 as a 10-point dog. They led the first 47-plus minutes of Game 4. And that's actually why I liked the Warriors last night. I thought that was the spot where Memphis was the play-on team. I stayed off Game 4. As you know, we had a strong best bet on Golden State in Game 3. They won by 30 on Saturday night. I thought Memphis was in a good bounce-back spot. I stayed off that game in Game 4. Grizzlies probably should have won the game. They led the entire game until 45 seconds to go. I thought that was going to be their flat spot last night. Obviously, it wasn't. So the question becomes now, is Golden State really the championship threat for the Phoenix Suns, which I thought they were. We're looking ahead to Game 6, tomorrow, and now it's back in Golden State, of course, because once again, Golden State's the 3 seed. I mean, Memphis is the 2 seed, which everyone forgets in this series. And the Warriors are now about an 8.5-point favorite tomorrow instead of a 9.5-point favorite. So, I mean, it's crazy to me. I was looking up the numbers, and you always have to be careful in the on-court, off-court. But if you look at the Memphis Grizzlies this year, one of the reasons they've been so good without Ja Morant, he's an important player. He's a good player. And without him on the court, they are 3.5 points weaker offensively per 100 possessions. That makes sense. They were 5.5 points better defensively without him. So they're actually a net plus 2 points per 100 without Morant. It's been on the defensive end, and we saw that again last night. Now, obviously, the offense was really good last night also, but I don't know. I mean, I'll get your thoughts on that. It's getting to a point now where we really have to start asking, why are they so good without Morant on the court?
Well, have you watched him play defense? I mean, that may be. I mean, maybe that's part of it. He's just not very good defensively. So when he's on the court, he's a liability defensively. As flashy as he is offensively, there's no doubt about that. I also think that these teams have a tendency, especially in basketball, when it's just 5 guys, so that's 20% of the team on the floor. I think the rest of the guys just they let up. It's almost like they watch him. They are going to spread the floor and let's watch Ja do Ja things. And it's almost like it's so intimidating. You're right about the numbers. I mean, it is 21-6. They have a 778 winning percentage when he is not on the court. This is a team that played 683 basketball. So in the regular season. So that's a great record of 683. 778 though without him, and it's not like 4 games. I mean, we're talking about 27 basketball games without that dude. It is it's one of the oddest stats out there. I think every team in the league would take Ja Morant, and yet here they can't. They're it's not that they can't win with him, but they certainly seem to play better without him.
Yeah, and like you said, they're better defensively without him. He's very flashy offensively. It's starting to feel a lot like James Harden, in my opinion. That's the first thing that comes to mind for me. He's a guy that I've always thought has been a liability in playoff games for the most part. And you could say, well, who did they play in those 27 games? Well, first of all, they played the Warriors at full strength the last 2 games in a playoff. They basically led almost entire of both of those games. But then you look at the regular season. I know maybe some key players are missing some of these games, but I'll just quickly run down. When Morant missed the first 10 or so back in early December, they played Toronto on the road. They played Miami and Dallas on the road. They went 3-0 in those games, and they beat Philly at home. So 4-0 against those teams without him. And then you go back, the other extended time he missed was in mid to late March. They played Brooklyn at home, beat them. They played Milwaukee at home, beat them by 25, by the way. They beat Golden State by 28 at home without him, and they beat Phoenix at 8 at home without him. I mean, these are some of the best teams in the league, and they went 8-0 against them without Morant. I agree with when a key player's out, a lot of times we see the other players step up, the other teams let down. But when the guy is out for multiple games like this and they keep winning and actually playing better, I think it's something we have to really start analyzing, because it's getting to a point now where, for me, I'm a numbers guy. It's not a statistical quirk anymore.
When they lost Game 4 in San Francisco, I thought they were toast because it was just such an emotional. They could have won that game, and Golden State didn't play great in that game, and it seemed like, well, that's it then. That's going to close it out. That was their shot. Their shot was to even the series, go back home, and now they're going home 3-1. I didn't expect at all that they would come back and play that way, and that brings us to tonight's games. Now, you had given us both blowout winners. I mean, that's nice when that happens. Feel free to do that anytime you want, to give us a game that ends up being, a couple of 35-point wins, like you did when Phoenix and Miami played at home the other night. Now they both go on the road. How do you handle something like that when these two teams that just had huge blowout wins at home go on the road? What do you think we can expect?
It's a lot trickier now, because one of the reasons I loved that card Tuesday night, and as you mentioned, we had 30 and 35-point blowout winners in those 2 games with the Heat and Suns, for those that weren't with us, unfortunately. But look, I had my preferred play-on team in both games coming off back-to-back losses, and that's about as good as it gets. The Warriors are my preferred team in the Memphis Golden State in Game 3 on Saturday, as I mentioned earlier, and I stayed off Memphis in Game 4 because they weren't my preferred team. So the zigzag works better when you're getting your preferred team in the series coming off a loss, and that was both Phoenix and Miami. So I thought those are great plays Tuesday night. They both worked out well. The question now is, what do we do, because we have those other 2 teams heading home. I still think both Phoenix and Miami wins this series. The question is, do they get it done tonight? It just doesn't set up quite as strong now. I do think, you got to watch the referees. I thought Miami was in a good bounce-back spot in Game 4 the other night, and that didn't work out. That was the only game we missed during that 10-game span over a week, basically, and that was your boy Scott Foster. He ended up refereeing. Oh, boy, he's the guy that Chris Paul's 0-14 with, and Philly got the foul calls. I mean, I joke about the conspiracy stuff sometimes, but with Foster, it's really getting to a point where it's not even funny anymore. So will the league. You would think the league wants one of these to go 7, so you got to kind of guess, which one is it.
It is interesting that the Suns are a road favorite tonight. They're a 2-point favorite tonight in Dallas, whereas Miami, I can get 2 points with Miami at Philadelphia. So that's kind of interesting as well. Why do you think the 76ers are a favorite while Dallas, they say the most difficult game to win is the fourth one, is the closeout game. And I just think about Luka Doncic at home and whether or not he just has a monster game, just will not let this team lose this series in front of their home fans. But here you can get they're a home dog.
Yeah, and you could almost make a case. I mean, I know Phoenix ended up winning by 30, but Dallas was winning outright late second quarter of that game the other night after winning the first 2 games, and games 3 and 4, rather. So you could almost make a case that Dallas has been a little more competitive overall in the series with Phoenix than, Philly has been with Miami. Miami won pretty easily in games 1 and 2 and 3 or 5 at home. That did jump out to me. And the other thing I'll point out about the first half lines tonight, Philly's a 2.5-point game favorite, yet they're a 1.5-point first half favorite, which is almost as much as the game line. You look at Phoenix, they're -2 for the game. They're picking them to -1 for the first half. So the odds makers are at least saying Philly should come out stronger initially than maybe Dallas. But I think these 2 games are kind of evenly matched.
Are you locked in? I know your baseball picks have been pretty strong. A lot of totals. You've been jumping on those as well. You feel like you now 30, 32, 33 games into the season. We have a pretty good feel for what's going on out there.
Yeah, in baseball, over-unders were 60% to the under about second, third week of April, a few weeks in. And then when we talked about a week or two ago, they were 57%. And then last week, they were down to 55%. So, everybody was overreacting, saying, these games are going under. Is it the new ball? The baseball we talked about, you mentioned how they're all in humidors now, which I do think, they're coming off the bat, by the way, as hard as ever, but they're not going as far. There's more drag on them. So I do think those humidors that you mentioned last week on the show are kind of what's keeping them in the park. And keep in mind, with everyone designed to try to be like home run or strikeout hitters now, a long home run ball that doesn't travel as far is basically a fly ball out. So I do think that's why games are going under early on, but it looks like something's changed here. The weather's getting a little warmer as well, and we're starting to see more balance. I don't think the odds makers have over-adjusted too much. But, with that said, you're maybe seeing still a half run less. Key number 7 might be a 6.5 now, So I do think there's been a balance out there, and we've seen more games go over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, and you got that half run means a lot, man. I mean, the other night when we had the Angels on the money line, and it was the Padres. The Padres on the money line against the Cubs, and the run line was 1.5. And I liked, the run line was plus 125, whereas the money line was minus 165. And I'm like, it's only a run and a half. I think I'll take the run line and get the plus 125. And then at the last minute I didn't. I went ahead and just went with the money line. And sure enough, the Cubs chip one in the top of the ninth, and it ends up a 5-4 game instead of a 5-3 game. And that's the difference. But it's amazing that a half run, made that go from a 125 on the run line to a minus 165 on the money line.
Yeah, a couple of things I'll point out there because it's a really good topic to talk about. As you know, Tom, we use run lines minus 1.5 a lot more than we normally play like a minus 50 favorite, and that's kind of the cutoff for me. But in that case, I did think it was going to be a little lower scoring, and that's why we use the money line. Something you can always do out there is a lot of sports books have it now. They have a minus 1 line instead of 1.5. But you can make your own, and it's quite simple to do. What you do is you put half a unit on the money line straight up at Pick'em, minus 155 or whatever. You put the other half unit on the minus 1.5 plus 125 run line, and then what you have theoretically is 1 unit at minus 1. So you would have won and lost and ended up like a push. That's another way to do it in the future if you're looking at those games. And the reason that's such a big split also is because obviously home favorites are more likely to win by 1 because they can walk off and win the bottom of the ninth. That's not exactly what happened in that game, but that's why. And they didn't bat again, so that is kind of theoretically what happened in that game. So you always get a bigger split with the home team versus the road team. And you always, higher scoring games are less likely to land on one as well. So just some things to think about when you're looking at the difference between the straight up money line and the 1.5 run line.
15-6 in his last 21 selections. Tell them how they can get in on your roll right now.
Yeah, first of all, they can try out tonight for free, 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 if they mention the show and email me. Free best bet, Steve Merrill, ProSportsInfo.com. Just email me, mention that you heard the Thom Abraham Show, and you get one of my best bets tonight for free. Just email me, Steve at ProSportsInfo.com, and mention the show, Steve at ProSportsInfo.com.
All right, there you go. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, we'll get a break in here. When we come back, Wolverine Dan, if he hung in there, he gets to close the show. We'll do that next on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Thom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Whoa, Greg's up.
He's never up this early.
Hey, guys. Okay, so this is called the Bell Breakfast Box from Taco Bell. Oh, thanks. I can read.
And that's a coffee. Helps you open your eyes.
And that's a breakfast burrito. You can start from either end.
You guys always this condescending in the morning?
Pretty much.
Wake up with the new $5 Bell Breakfast Box, filled with a grande toasted breakfast burrito, hash brown, 2 Cinnabon Delights, and a coffee. At limited participating Taco Bell locations near you during breakfast hours only. Contact local store for prices, hours, and participation, which vary. Tax extra. Drinks excludes freezes.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Did you know that your car, truck, or SUV may be worth over 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we'd love your trade-in for a personalized custom factory order on a 2022 Explorer, Expedition, Ranger, or F-150. You'll get exactly the color and options you want, and Woody Anderson Ford will save you 5% off MSRP, plus you'll get any additional Ford factory rebates. Or if you need a new ride today, choose a Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned vehicle. We have over 100 to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with our 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. At Woody Anderson Ford, whether it's a new order or a pre-owned, we promise to always do the right thing. Corner of George and Sparkman, hope to see you soon.
Gunner's Landing is one of the Tennessee Valley's finest golf experiences. Just 35 minutes from downtown Huntsville, Gunner's Landing's 18-hole championship Jewel is open to the public 7 days a week. Located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, Gunner's Landing offers you a golf experience like no other. With beautiful Lake Gunnersville views throughout the round, Gunner's Landing is golf the way nature intended. Gunner's Landing's Club Repair Shop offers a full range of services, including re-gripping and adjusting the lofts and lies of your clubs, even putters. Since the work is done in-house, your clubs will be returned to you in a timely manner. Unmatched in the North Alabama area, it is Gunner's Landing. Schedule your tee time today at gunnerslandinggolf.com. That's gunnerslandinggolf.com.
Outdoor season is coming. Can't wait.
Here at Brooks & Collier, neither can we. Outdoor season is also grilling season.
And we have plenty of grills and smokers in stock. From Traeger, Blaze, and Big Green Egg.
There's the greenhouse, new indoor items and home furnishings as well.
Whatever it takes. Browse over 2 acres of furnishings. Can't wait.
How about you? North Alabama's indoor and outdoor living headquarters for over 75 years.
813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
With a new face at first and some of the best arms in the National League, this 2022 Braves team is loaded up for another run at the crown.
Swung on, lifted high and deep to right field, headed for the top house, heads up out there, gone, home run!
Tomorrow night, it's another huge National League matchup at Truist Park as the Braves take on Fernando Tatis Jr. and the San Diego Padres. Braves radio's on the air at 6:05 Eastern, 5:05 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. An isolated shower is going to be possible at the end of the day. Most of us probably going to end up staying dry, so I don't want you to think about that too much. Highs climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're going to get really, really close to 90 degrees. Looks like we're going to fall just shy. Lows only dropping into the upper 50s and lower 60s through the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Friday. A slightly better opportunity for a little bit of rain come the later part of the afternoon, early into the evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You know, this process is all about talking ball.
Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond.
What did they want privacy for? To just start talking ball.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Sweet Home Alabama is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford today. Woody Anderson Ford's got you covered for all your service needs. Whether you drive a Ford or not, it's Woody Anderson Ford. Their service lanes are second to none. Their technicians are outstanding. They do a great job. It's Woody Anderson Ford. Check them out, Woody Anderson of Madison as well. Chubby Ninja says, Mr. Ed called and said the Phillip is hoarse. That's funny. That's a good job by him. Kramer says, I just saw a schedule leak. Bills and Packers into Super Bowl. Be a good Super Bowl. Not going to happen, but it would be a good Super Bowl. And Whitey says, regarding Auburn and Georgia, are you not aware that tradition means very little these days to a lot of people? Man, that was from Grumpy saying that Auburn and Georgia, Auburn should not want to have Georgia in its Lock 3 teams when they fix the schedule up. All right, let's get to the lines with Wolverine Dan to bring us home. Wolverine Dan, welcome in. How are you?
On the Patriot Golf Course with Badger Larry on the 12th hole, drinking some beers, knocking them down. I got you certificates that entitles me to a Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday play for $22 in a cart.
At what place?
Redstone. On the Arsenal.
Oh, on the Arsenal. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you say the Patriot course?
Yeah, the Patriot course. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, how about that, huh? You know, I don't worry about the stock market. I'm not looking either because I know it's
don't look at it.
Bloodbath. But you know what? I'm playing golf, drinking beer, and I still get a pension. So what the hell am I worried about? I'm not rich, but you know what? Enjoy life, huh?
Hey, you budget it out, and you're good to go. I mean, the market. I think it's doing a little bit better today. Maybe I don't know. I'm not 100% sure.
But, you know, I'm looking for the Vikings to win the Super Bowl. I got $100 in Biloxi. I put on 40-1, baby. Woo!
Yeah. That's Larry. What he thinks about Bills and Packers in the Super Bowl. If it ends up that, he'd like that.
That sounds about right, Tommy.
That sounds just about right. Market's down 200 points. So yeah, it's doing better today. It's only down 200 points, not 1,000.
No. As long as the GOAT's still playing. He ain't gonna get that double down discount, whatever that is, belt thing he does. He ain't winning nothing. Tommy's, and he's gonna be announcer next year. No, he's not. He's gonna say, you know what? I got one more in me. I want to surpass George Blanda. You and I, Larry, are the only ones know who that is.
Yeah, no, he's done. Yeah, I'm surprised he came back this year. To be honest with you.
Listen to you. You know, he's still the greatest, right?
Oh, there's no doubt.
And what school he played for in college?
He played for that school up north, I think. I'm not sure.
Michigan.
There you go.
Here. What?
Tommy.
Yeah.
Roll Tide, brother.
We're in mourning a little bit because Bob Lanier died, and he was both a piston and a buck, and we loved him as a buck. I got to see him one time. Biggest feet I've ever seen in my life. They had shoes in a bar, 22.
Yeah.
They had shoes.
By the way, add me to that list, too, because he went to St. Bonaventure, which is just down the road from where I'm from. So he was a big guy back in the days at the Bonnies. Yeah.
And he gave them all hell. They didn't like playing Bob Lanier. He was
all right, go play golf, will you? Leave me alone. I got to close the show up. Have fun.
See you.
That's it. All right, coming up next, Chuck Oliver, Paul Feinbaum, The Drive with Steve and Steve, doing Steve things. Wes is out this week. This is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
America First Alabama PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The liberals are afraid. Afraid of what is coming to Washington. They're afraid of Republican Casey Wardynski. Casey Wardynski is the fearless conservative that North Alabama needs. He will stand up to the woke mob that is trying to ruin our country. And Casey Wardynski will never back down in his beliefs. Casey Wardynski answered President Trump's call and served our country as Assistant Secretary of the Army. We don't need to send weak-kneed career politicians who've sold out to the establishment to Washington. We need a Trump-tested Republican. Casey Wardynski, the only choice we have for Congress. On Tuesday, May 24th, let's scare the hell out of the liberals. Let's send Casey Wardynski to Washington.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This is the time of year where we all expect inconsistent calls from umps.
You guys stink.
That's okay. We're used to it here.
Ha!
We'll just sit back and call it like it is. Your home of the World Series. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting the Jaguars and top overall pick Trayvon Walker agreed to his rookie contract, 4-year, fully guaranteed, worth over $37 million. Patriots trading backup quarterback Jarrett Stidham to the Raiders. The teams will flip late-round draft picks. Stidham's standing on the roster was in jeopardy when New England drafted Western Kentucky QB Bailey Zappi last month. Penguins captain Sidney Crosby set for evaluation today on an upper body injury. Crosby injured in the Game 5 loss of their first-round NHL playoff series to the Rangers following a hit from New York defenseman Jacob Trouba. Game 6 is tomorrow. Second-round NBA playoffs, Heat with a chance to end the 76ers season tonight. Miami up 3-2 at Philly. Game 6, 6:30 Eastern ESPN Radio, 7 Eastern ESPN TV. Suns close out the Mavs with a win tonight in Game 6, 9:30 Eastern ESPN TV.